All right, everyone. Before we even talk about writing techniques, I want you to pause for a second and think about why you are here today. You are not just here to learn how to write an essay. You are here because you want to apply for a PhD, maybe in the USA, maybe in Europe, maybe somewhere else in the world. And deep inside, you know that your statement of purpose can decide whether you get that offer or not. I'm currently a PhD student myself, and since 2019, I have been helping students achieve their dream of studying abroad. And I have mentored so many students who are now doing their PhDs. And I can tell you very clearly this document is not just a formality, it is your identity on paper. So, when this slide says identity transformation, it means you are no longer writing as a student who wants to study more. You're writing as a future scientist who is ready to contribute. So I want to ask you something honestly. When you imagine yourself walking on a campus like this, do you imagine yourself sitting quietly in class? Or do you imagine yourself doing research, publishing papers, discussing ideas with professors? That difference matters. This whole session is about shifting your mindset. We are not learning how to decorate sentences. We are learning how to present ourselves as researchers. And by the end of today, I want you to feel confident that you know exactly how to position yourself as someone who belongs in a PhD program. So, now this is one of the biggest mistakes students make. Many students think a statement of purpose is just like a personal statement, but they are not the same. A personal statement focuses on who you are as a person, your background, your personality, your life experiences. So instead of focusing on emotional stories, about how you loved science since childhood, you need to focus on what you have actually done as a researcher. Because for PhD admissions, they are not primarily evaluating your personality, they are evaluating your research potential. Admissions committee want to see your intellectual growth. They want to see how you think, how you analyze problems, how you design experiments, how you interpret results. Let me ask you, if you remove all emotional sentences from your SOP, do you still have a strong content left? If not, that means your SOP is not research focused enough. The shift is simple but powerful. Move from this is my life story to this is my scientific journey. That is the difference between undergraduate mindset and graduate mindset. This slide is extremely important. Identity alignment. When you apply for a PhD, you must already see yourself as a scientist. You are not asking for permission to become one. You are demonstrating that you are ready to function as one. Many students begin their SOP with childhood curiosity stories, but committees are not interested in your childhood chemistry set. They're interested in your current capacity. What research question excite you now? What problems do you want to solve? What tools have you mastered already? If I ask you right now, what research question do you want to explore during your PhD? Can you answer in one or two clear sentences? If you hesitate, that means you need more clarity before writing your statement of purpose. Your research is your purpose. That sentence should guide everything you write. Every paragraph should emphasize your identity as a researcher, not as a student who is still discovering what they want. So you can think these sentence, the big questions, how to control a cell's function, how to interfere with a cell becoming a cancer, are still out there to be answered. The key is bringing fresh ideas along with new tools. Mike Tatel, Pathology and Laboratory Medicine. So now let's be realistic, okay? Your SOP is not read by administrative staff first. It is read by faculty members, by researchers, by people who run labs and supervise students. These people are very smart. These people are not looking for dramatic storytelling, they're looking for intellectual feat. You're not applying to join a classroom, you're applying to join a research ecosystem. That ecosystem includes faculty, lab members, collaborators, and funding agencies. So your SOP should show that you understand how research committees or research communities work. Ask yourself, how will I contribute to this lab? What specific skills do I bring? Why should they invest funding in me? When you answer those questions clearly in your SOP, you are showing that you understand the expectations of graduate level research. So, a strong SOP must clearly show your experience, your skills, your purpose, and your future goals, but not in vague language, not in general statements. Instead of saying I have laboratory experience, you should explain what exactly you did, what techniques you used, what challenges you faced, and what outcomes you achieved. Because because specific details build your credibility. Every paragraph should connect directly to your research directions. If a paragraph does not strengthen your research narrative, it should not be there. Let me ask you, if someone reads only one paragraph from your SOP, will they immediately understand your research interest? If not, then you need to refine your clarity. I hope you guys are understanding my slides and words, okay? If not, you can comment on the video and I will try my level best to answer you. So, specificity and fit, how you can prove you belong there. Because admissions committee want to know why you are applying to their program specifically, not why you want to study in the USA, not why you like their ranking. They want to know why their research environment fits you. You should mention faculty members whose research aligns with yours, and you should demonstrate that you have actually read their work. When you reference a professor's recent paper and explain how your background connects to it, you should show seriousness and preparation. Let me ask you, have you read at least two recent publications from the professor you plan to mention? If not, you are not ready to write that section yet because specificity shows commitment. Be careful with that. One of the most common mistakes students make is saying things like, I'm passionate about research without showing evidence. So, passion without proof does not convince anyone. Instead of claiming that you are hardworking, describe the long hours you spent troubleshooting an experiment, the data you analyzed, the revisions you made, and the improvements you achieved. Evidence of efforts speak louder than emotional claims. So think about this. If someone removed the word passion from your SOP, would the reader still feel your dedication through your actions? So that is the goal. So if you have a low GPA, a gap year, or a shift in the field, you should address it briefly and professionally. Do not write excuses. Do not create emotional drama. Provide context and then show growth. That's it. For example, instead of saying your grades suffered because of difficulties, explain how you managed responsibilities while maintaining academic progress and developing your strength. Admissions committees respect honesty combined with maturity. The key idea is this: weakness should be acknowledged, but they should not dominate your narrative. Your growth and readiness should dominate. A powerful technique is to describe your research experience the way you would write a scientific abstract. Start with context, then objective, then methods, and finally the results. When you describe your project clearly and logically, you demonstrate scientific thinking. Committees want to see that you understand research structure. So ask yourself, can you explain your thesis or major project in five clear sentences without confusion? If you can, you are ready. If not, you need to simplify and clarify your explanation. So, what's the writing mechanics? Your writing should be clear, direct, and active. Avoid unnecessary words, avoid passive constructions when possible. When you say, I designed the experiment, instead of the experiment was designed, you show ownership and responsibility. Clarity makes your writing stronger. Shorter, precise sentences are more powerful than long, complicated ones filled with unnecessary phrases. Admissions committees appreciate writing that is confident and straightforward. Your goal is not to impress with complex vocabulary, but your goal is to communicate clearly. Find it. So, what to cut from your SOP? You can cut like, I want to cure cancer unless you explain how specifically. Avoid quotes from famous people. Avoid slang or overly dramatic language. Also, avoid using complicated words incorrectly just to sound intelligent. Precision is more impressive than complexity. Your writing should sound professional and mature. Think of it as a research document, not a motivational speech. Do not assume the reader knows every abbreviation from your country or institution. So always spell out acronyms the first time you use them. Your job is to make the reading experience easy. If the committee struggles to understand your terminology, it weakens your impact. So clear communication reflects professional awareness. Writing the first draft can feel overwhelming, but perfection is not required in the first draft. The first draft is for ideas, and refinement comes later. You can write freely, then revise carefully, and you can share your draft with trusted mentors or peers, and then take breaks and revise it or revisit it with fresh perspective. The key is to start writing today, and the momentum will build the clarity later. So, strong SOP go through multiple revisions, okay? And reading your essay aloud helps you catch awkward phrasing. Feedback from advisors or seniors can strengthen clarity. So you have to involve people who understand research writing, and you have to accept the constructive criticism that will improve your writing quality. And do not submit your first draft because revision is where excellence is created. So last slide, how you can polish and conclude your SOP. Before submission, ensure your SOP follows the required length and formatting guidelines. Check grammar carefully. Make sure every sentence serves a purpose. Finally, you have to trust yourself. You have worked for years to reach this stage, right? So your SOP is a reflection of your journey and your readiness. So I would like to ask you one final question. Are you writing this SOP to impress the committee, or are you writing it to show that you are ready to contribute to science? When you write with that mindset, your tone changes, your confidence becomes visible, and that confidence makes a difference. So I would like to end the session with this sentence again. Trust yourself and dream. Celebrate your work. This is the fun part, bro. Best of luck.